Hi guys, Cryptogasm here for Cryptogasmic, and I'm coming to you live from Acapulco. We're here for the Anarchpulco event. 4 days of talking freedom and crypto, and how to escape the hassles of government and tax and banks, and basically 2,000 government-hating, bank-hating crypto freaks all in one place on the beach in paradise. The sun is shining, so it's pretty cool. If you can't get down here to Anarchpulco, you can jump online. The whole event is going to be live streamed. You can go to anarchpulco.com, there it is, and get the event. So we're going to do a live market update today. Sorry if the audio is a little bit shitty today. I'm sitting out on the beach here in a little cafe overlooking the beautiful blue water. There's a few people around me here. The little cafe seems to be filling up just a little bit. There's a bit of Latin music in the background, so please do bear with me. So let's jump right into it, guys. It's been a good couple of days so far, right? So we're going to jump right into this now. Okay, let's start with Bitcoin. So for those of you who've been following me over the last week or two, you would understand that we were kind of in a position where we bounced up. We got this reversal here at around about 6,600 or so, this candle here. We did send out a signal to the Cryptogasmic group to buy Bitcoin at around about 6,800 because we did see a reversal coming there. And it sort of has worked out well at the moment. So the way we've been looking at Bitcoin has been to just monitor it in stages, because even though it's picking up steam again, not a hell of a lot of volume is really coming into the whole crypto space, and we had to be careful of certain bull runs and things like that. So rather than green dildos and screaming to the moon and all that sort of stuff, we had to be very careful, because we've seen this same kind of pattern back in 2014, where we had the huge impulse wave up, and then we basically always have to have a correction. Okay, so a lot of people have been screaming, the bubble has burst. Even guys, at the golf club, in the taxi, who ask me what I do, and I tell them about the cryptocurrency and Cryptogasmic, they say, oh, that Bitcoin has really, it's crashed to the floor, huh? Which is just a load of bullshit. And I kind of look at them and smile, and rather than get upset, I just say, look, it was $2,000 in September and $20,000 in December. So even if it falls all the way back to $3,000, it's still up $1,000 a coin. It's up 50% from where it was in September. So you've got to understand that, guys, and you've got to remember that you've got to be realistic with the gains. A lot of us made a lot of money in 2017, where Bitcoin was back at $1,000 and it went all the way to 20,000. So a lot of people sort of claim that they're great traders or whatever, but the reality is a lot of people got lucky. Okay, so for those of you who are in our Cryptogasmic chat group, you'll understand we've gone through the emotional cycle many times. There's two sides to a trade. So we're now on this, on the right-hand side, the bearish pattern. So we had to be very careful that we wouldn't fall all the way back, which we still could do. So we've still got to monitor it in stages. And the positive thing is we're clearing the levels that we have needed to clear. So let's look at this a little bit, okay? So first of all, we found our reversal here in the mid-6,000s, if you were lucky enough to get a candle, and we bounced out of there. So we placed a signal to buy there. And once we got above this trend line, it was really important that we held this $8,000 mark. I've been telling everybody in my group, if we kind of close a daily candle below the 8,000, I was going to look at exiting crypto altogether and would look to re-enter later, because there's still a real struggle going on here. But in order for us to move forward, there are certain levels that we need to clear. If we zoom out and we look at the big picture of this, you can see the huge parabolic rise that happened here. Okay. Let me just get rid of these trends, because I've got them on the logarithm chart. Okay. So really keep it in perspective, guys. Look here, in September, 3,000 to 20,000. It's huge. So the people who got caught out really are the people who chased all of this, actually, all of this, all right? And we talk about this in Cryptogasmic all the time, that a market is designed to wash people out. When you're trading, 90% of people will lose, 10% of people will win. A market is designed to play on people's emotions, okay? And it washes people out. It just doesn't give you free money, all right? Everybody that chases it up here, it goes up, they think they're clever, it comes back down, all of a sudden they're at a loss, and then it bounces back up again, and it comes down, and they just say, screw it, I'm out. And this happens all the way down. So when you look at this chart, all you're seeing is greed, hope turning into greed, and we've done the A, the B, and hopefully the C. So let's continue through the stages. So it was really, really important to open and close through that above 8,000, which we've been going sideways for quite a few days. But then we started building an inverted head and shoulders, okay, with a neckline that kind of went across here like this, okay, what's gone across here, and the line that we needed to break was here, the 8,800, which is where I've got this blue box here. So those of you new to trading, a head and shoulders pattern, an inverted head and shoulders pattern, once we break out past the neckline, it's usually a really bullish pattern, where a lot of traders who trade on patterns and certain signals will wait for that breakout, and that's what's happened, and now we've broken out above the 9,000. Any resistance there to fall down could have seen us bleed down a bit further. So that's step probably 3. Step 1 was bouncing here, which we did, and we managed to grab the buys there, so we nailed the buys for those of you in the Cryptogasmic group. And for those of you who don't know what a head and shoulders pattern is, it's basically like this. Sorry, I am out in the public at the moment. This cafe is filling up here on the beach. So you can see where we've made a left shoulder, okay, and then this, the right shoulder, and right here. So these two tops, okay, is the area that we needed to clear, to break that neckline. So once we get through there, that is usually a bullish pattern, and I 95% knew that if we were going to break that neckline, I said before I went to bed last night, I sent out a message to the group that said, if we can break this 8,800 and get a candle to open and close above it on the 12-hour, then we should see a good rise in price, which we've done. Are we out of the woods? Are we going to the moon? Are we going to $20,000? We still can't say that yet. We've still got more levels that we do need to clear, all right? So we've now also broken this downward trend, which is fantastic. We're still traveling a long way below the clouds, all right? Especially if we zoom out a little bit daily. So you can see here on the upward trend, we traveled a long way outside the green cloud on the daily. The whole time, we actually never broke it. I mean, even if we go right back, okay, without me zooming all the way in, I've done this a million times, so everybody should see it. We've come down into the cloud, and the cloud has been support. So this here in January, January was the first time we fell through the daily cloud, and it turned into resistance, which is why this red cloud has started to paint up here. And once we found the resistance here, you can see it come up and hit the cloud, and it just bounced straight off. So now we've got to go through the stages, smaller time frame, building support, momentum. It's all about ebb and flow and momentum. So now we've got to now try to climb back on and get this daily back up through the green Ichimoku cloud. So what are the next sort of levels that we're looking for? So if this is kind of the bottom of this for now, let's look at a few levels of where we're probably going to meet some resistance. Okay. So if we just quickly have a look at this one down here, right? So this area here, I believe, is probably the next point where we're going to meet resistance, right into this green cloud. So I'm hoping now that this run, you can see we're sort of just come to the Fibonacci line here. So these lines are basically lines of support, predicted places for support and resistance. And we're always looking for factors of confluence. We're not just looking at one thing. It's not just like put a Fibonacci line out there and that's where it's going to be. So we're looking at certain things like trend lines. We're looking at Fibonacci points. We're looking at the cloud. We're looking at our RSI, our MACD. We're looking at previous price points. Okay, so let's look at a few different things. Now that we've broken through here, I would think now that we're probably going to hopefully come up and test $11,000. So different prices are also psychologically hard to break in trading as well. And obviously the five-figure, whether it was going from $1 to $10, whether it was all of a sudden Bitcoin being $100, when it was $1,000, the market's got to get its head around that that's what it's now worth. Okay, so to get our head around that $10,000 is what a Bitcoin is worth, it's a big psychological point. Obviously, we smashed straight through that on the last cycle. I actually got out of Bitcoin at around about 9,500. I was expecting a drop back to about 7, but I missed the impulse up to 20, and I didn't chase it. I advised everybody in the group not to chase it. So the people that got shook out, the people that got upset, the people that got emotional, all of those people that bought it between $10,000 and $20,000, they've been washed out. I'll probably hate crypto forever. It's a load of bullshit. The bubble is burst. But they're not looking at the big picture and the reality. So now there still is a possibility, guys, that this could come up and complete a complete emotional cycle all the way down here, right? So if we look at, just quickly, back here, 2,000 up to here. Okay, the last time we had a really big decline in price back in 2014 was when we saw a real sharp, deep retracement. It was around about an 88% retracement. So you can see if we get that same sort of retracement, and that lasted, I think, if I remember, about a year and a half. Okay, it doesn't just drop overnight. It'll come down, it'll go up, it'll come down, it'll go up. But like it goes up, it'll come down in steps in the same kind of way. Okay, and this is something that could play out, all the way through March, April, May, June, July, right through to the end of the year before we get completely into complete capitulation and depression, and then the market turns around and all of a sudden a new cycle will take off, which will then again hopefully take us back to those all-time highs. So the only way we can really look at it is in these small stages at the moment. So let's look at there's many positives here at the moment. All right? We've broken a few of those points. So what is the next level? The next level is we need to get back into this daily cloud. Okay, so that also aligns with our $10,000 psychology in the market, which is a huge place. All right, so I really think now this should take us through to this $10,000 mark, hopefully up to 11. For those of you who bought in with me at 6,600, this will probably be the area I might even take some profit off the table. Might take 50% out, and if it does continue on, then I can always rebuy in. And then if we look to break down, you've always got to take some profit here, guys. You can't just sit and watch digital numbers going up and down all day and be attached to your block volume. You really can't. You've got to have a strategy in place. So my strategy is going to be prepared for both ways. I got my buys at 6.8. We've cleared the downward trend line. I'm now going to hopefully try to get this up into the bottom of this daily cloud where we're probably going to meet some resistance there. So I may take 50%. I'm looking at $5,000 a coin profit there. So I'm really happy with that. It's a good monthly wage, man. A couple of coins at that. It's cool. So these are the areas that I'm looking at in there. And then if we continue on and we can get back up through this cloud, then I think we're going to be looking at those all-time highs, and then we could be looking at the $30,000, $40,000 marks. And once we get to there, who knows? But for now, we can only be really smart, protect our capital, protect our money, and just go kind of step by step through the stages. So this is where we're looking at the next stage now. I'm not going to look beyond there. This is where I'm going to take a bit of profit on my $6,800 buys. And if it continues on, I might wait until it falls back into the cloud and grab some more and go on. If it comes off of here and then we start to break down again, I've still got my limit of $8,000. If we start opening and closing below that mark, that is the point I'm going to start looking to get out. I'll still be in profit. And then if we start to take off, again, I'll use the right times to improve my position in that. So let's move on, because I am sort of rambling on a little bit. It's beautiful out here, guys. I wish I could show you the camera. Now, if we look at the logarithmic chart, okay, a couple of other bullish signs were the trends that we were looking at, okay. So this is another line that we need to break, okay. So again, getting above this trend line is probably going to come in with this profit zone in here by the time we get up in here. So it's either going to resist off of this trend line or it's going to continue through. So at that time, I'll then make a decision as to what I'm going to do. Right now, it's just really important that we look at trends. It's all about following different trends. Where are we going? So this is the wedge that we need to sort of get ourselves into, to get ourselves up into the cloud, up into this wedge. And then this would probably be the next point of support or resistance. So these are the levels we've got to break through. And then finally, we have our 2017 parabolic trend, something like this. Okay, so if you haven't seen this explanation before, you can see we followed this trend the whole way. Come off it, came down. Came off it, came down. Bouncing between these trend lines. December, we smashed through it. We come down, we didn't find support off of it, and it fell down really, really fast. So those people out there who say they don't believe in trend lines, they don't believe in technical analysis, they don't believe it's an emotional cycle, you know, I just don't believe that. It bounces off of these trend lines in between, and we took off here. So really, to get back on the parabolic stretch for Bitcoin, we've really got to get above, and you can see it lines up with the green cloud. We need to start getting up here until we're really clear and safe for now, up above this $15,000 mark in there. What is it exactly? Let's put the Fibonacci on that again. Even if we look at just this here. Oops, sorry. We look at even just this one here. Yeah, so you can see we need to get above this trend line here. So until we get in, we're not really in safety until we get into this zone in here. Okay. Once we're testing that $15,000 mark again, we're above the green cloud on the daily. We've breached both of these bottom trend lines, and then we're getting back on top of our parabolic trend line. And if we can break this, then we're going to continue on. If we come down here and we start breaking down, there'll be points here where I'm looking to exit. Let's just have a look at the strength. So as you can see, it's super strong at the moment on the daily. Right, this momentum we discussed a few days ago has really, really sort of bled over really nicely. And that's what the markets do, guys. They lead into momentum. 12 hours really super strong and still pointing up. And even the 3 daily has now turned and it's looking super strong. So I would expect Bitcoin over the next week to keep pushing. And even the weekly has just turned now. So these are all really, really bullish signs. So we're really looking to really get up into this part here, $11,500. And I do think we're probably going to do that over the next week to 10 days. Okay. Try to wash out a lot of the noise in between. Don't chase things. Excuse me. Right? Don't chase anything whatsoever. And that's the way to do it. Wow, this cafe's been really busy now, guys. So, right, that's it. Okay, so let's move on. The other coin that's doing really, really well. Well, they're all doing really well. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin market cap. So the surprising thing that I found was still not a lot of capital was coming back in. I haven't looked at it for a couple of hours. Let me just have another look here. Where are we? Okay, so this was down around about 420 this morning. So another $31 billion has come in to the market in the last couple of hours. So that's promising. But we really, again, to get to those levels of that 11.5 that we're looking for, around that 11,000, we've got to get this back over half a trillion, and we've got to stay there. There's a lot of positive news coming out. It's amazing, isn't it? How these governments and banks are just saying how shit it all is. It's a bubble and stuff. And now they're having meetings saying how can they use it and how can we regulate it. And, you know, this is just part of the battle, guys. It's part of the fight that we've got to go through. And that's it. Don't get complacent. Don't get upset. We just got to deal with things as we go. And if we have a look, all the top coins are performing pretty well. We sent out a big signal for Litecoin about a week ago to buy under $140, so we've made some good money on that. XLM, we sent out a signal about a week ago. That's up about 20% from where we entered. I sent out another signal last night on Ripple for around about 95 cents to $1, so that's on the way up. So we're making some money on our alt trades now, and I did say last week that if Bitcoin can get moving, we're probably going to start making some money in the alt segment. OMG is a big one. I sent a signal out yesterday or the day before to get that one. I can't remember the value of Bitcoin, but we will have a look at it. So everybody should be making some money today, and just remember you've got to take some of those profits off the tables at the right time, guys. Okay, let's have a quick look through the other coins. Ethereum. Internet connection's a little bit slow. Okay. Right, okay, so Ethereum, same thing. We've just broken the trend. Now, the good thing with Ethereum is it never really broke the daily cloud. So it's actually traveling stronger than Bitcoin. And I'm not going to go over it too much because it's basically the same kind of trading analysis, same kind of analysis. All of the RSIs are looking strong. Now, if we look at the MACD, we can just see we've just turned on the daily. So we still need this to cross our slower moving average. However, we can see, if we go back a little bit, we're now building some bars on the histogram, showing some upward momentum again. And we're on the bottom, so we've got a lot of room to grow. And you can see how the 6 hour leads over to the 12 hour, which will then lead over to the daily. And you can see now we're painting really good upward trends on the histogram there. Okay, so this is performing really, really well. This one. Now, I do think the same way that Bitcoin is testing the 5-figure psychology, Ethereum is testing the 4-figure. So do expect resistance around about this $1,000 mark, okay, which is going to be in the top of this green cloud. On the 12 hour, on the daily, I'm kind of looking at the charts on the dailies now. You know, we've kind of cleared a few zones where we have to be looking at on the 15, 30 minute and the hourly timeframes. So we can go back to looking at the daily. I like to look at the daily and the longer term charts if I can, because it just washes out all the noise. You know, I see you guys in the group. You'll be posting, oh, it's dropping again now. Oh, it's going up. It's dropping. You're watching it every 15 minutes. And there's really, really no need to do that unless we're kind of really at do or die kind of moments. So, yeah, look, right in the top of this green cloud, right above this trend line, this is where we're going to meet the next support and resistance, just on this $1,000 mark. So at the $1,000, I would be expecting some resistance. I'm still not going to look to sell there. We bought in our group all of our first Ethereum under $200. I'm still holding. I didn't sell any. I was getting ready to sell. If we would have broken down through this green cloud through here, then I would have got out. So buying under 200, selling around 600, still would have made some good profit and then would have looked to rebuy. But we managed to hold the daily cloud, and we're probably going to meet resistance here above this trend. If we can get above this trend and kind of just bounce around up here, my target here again is these all-time highs of around about 1,400. At that point, I'm going to be looking to take a bit of profit off the table, and that's going to be a really amazing trade at that time. Litecoin, after going sideways for quite a while, and same thing. A lot of people got burnt on Litecoin. In our group, I was begging everybody to buy Litecoin under $90 back in November, and it's the same thing. Begging you all to get in around 85, 88. It went up to 300. Nobody wanted to sell it at the top. I managed to sell some around the 300 mark. Then we got the deep retracement, and then people were messaging me saying, "Oh my God, I lost money on Litecoin. You told me to buy it." I never told anybody to buy it at $250, $280. Never chase things, right? And same goes on the bottom. Like, everybody was panicking when it fell through 7, and it fell through 6.5, and I told everybody, don't sell on these rock bottoms. There will be a bounce. If you want to get out then. All right. So what do we see for Litecoin? I sent out a signal a couple of days ago. It seemed to have held this retracement in here from this run up here. Right. You can see we held a 78.6 retracement here. The RSI and the MACD were showing signs of a reversal. So at this point, combined with this downward trend zone, was when we put in a little buy. Once we got some support, I advised everybody to get it here under $140, and that's worked out really well. So let's look at where we're actually going for Litecoin at the moment. Same thing, we're just now coming to the bottom of the daily cloud, so we're looking at some probably resistance here. However, I would maybe expect it to maybe come back down towards this trend line. It might come back down 180, but I am looking for it to get up into here. And I'm going to look at taking some profit around about the $240 mark. And then again, we'll see whether it stays along this trend or not. And then we're going to be looking at the all-time highs of about 360. Okay. But those are the longer-term targets. You can see again on the MACD, the momentum is just starting to build. So this is all really promising, but we've got to be careful we're not running into a bull trap as well. This could easily get us up into these clouds. Here. So it's pretty hard to. If we probably look at something like down here, up through here. So that's kind of the area we need to stay. And you can see we had a real parabolic rise here. Boom, boom. So we're probably going to test this. And you can see where it ran up basically from the top of these candles over here, where it took its run last time. It's almost the same place where it took its run this time. Okay, and we're looking here. If we could get the same sort of run, but to be safe, I'm looking to take some profit through this area, probably through this area here in the top part of the take profit zone. Okay, matching these tops through here, and then I'll have another target here as we challenge these tops. And then we'll just have to take it from there and see where we go. Right, okay, a couple other coins doing well that we've put out. OMG, I sent a signal out yesterday or the day before. Okay, again, you'll notice that once Bitcoin's doing well and starts to move on, the rest of the altcoins seem to start doing the same kind of thing. Okay. And another interesting thing that, let's see if we can pull this up here. What is it? If we look at, sorry guys, 1 second. So the BTC dominance is now 34%. This was around 50% for most of last year, 51, 52, 53. So there really is a spreading now of the money across a lot of the top 10 coins at the moment, which is really, really good to see. But again, we need to start. Right, okay, so look, you can see Bitcoin 86% to 34%. All right, and if you look at the others down the bottom, okay, 22%. If we go back here, it was 5% just in July. So in 6 months, 5 times more of the money is now going into the alts as well. Well, when I say alts, I mean the top 10 basically coins, right? And that's why I always say keep 90% of your money in the top coins and use 10% to trade to build the coins as we go. Okay. So if we now look at OMG, we sent out a great signal for this. Same thing. We had a really deep retracement on the previous cycle here. Right. We managed to hold this 88.3% retracement. We made an impulsive wave up. And this is one of the first altcoins that I'm charting that is actually, looks like it's starting to build an Elliott wave formation, which is really great to see. So for those of you who just want to understand the analysis, we have the one up here. We managed to hold this retracement here. The indicators were showing a reversal. We were also riding on the trend line here. And so we placed the buy in this box, and we've got a little run up. We can now place a stop loss. And then I've got my targets set out here. They're all in the channel. So the way I trade, I will be looking here for this to go to around about 260 sats mark. And then I'll be waiting for the correction down to the trend. Now at this point, at the point number 3, I will sell 50% of my of what I bought in for down here. Okay, and I will then sell here somewhere. I will then look to rebuy around here. If this falls through here, I will look to rebuy here. Hopefully we get a turn, and then I'll be looking for a final target of here, where I sell 80% of my asset, put 20% aside for another day, and check it next year. If we break down through this mark, then I'm going to sell the remaining of my coins. So for now, everything's looking on target. For that, you can see the momentum here. It started to pick up. And again, if we look at the 3 daily, it's getting super strong, and the weekly. So I'm expecting this over the next week, as long as Bitcoin keeps doing its thing, to continue on. What was the other signal we had? XLM. XLM sat really strong during the downturn of Bitcoin. It never broke its Elliott wave formation at any point. As you can see, it kind of just fell. So it was a good place to source some value while Bitcoin was falling apart. So my analysis on that hasn't even changed. We bought in around about here. I remember the signal being to buy under 400. And it's taken time. You know, sometimes guys, they fly up, sometimes they fly down. But all that we have to do now is change the map a little. So let's have a look. Let's get some new targets for XLM. So let's look at some new targets for XLM. Sorry, let me do that. So we can here. Okay, so what we're basically looking for now is something like this. Let's do this, actually. Here. Okay, so we're looking for something like this, really. The analysis hasn't changed from here, but rather than the 3 going straight up, we're probably going out wider. So our target is going to be in there, and then I would expect something like this. Okay. So targets. So our first target is going to be in here, around about the 75 sats mark. Okay. Same thing. Then if you follow Elliott wave theory, we'll be looking for this fall back down and then a run up to our final target of around about the 11,300 mark. 11.3 to 11.5 in there somewhere would be a good place to get a final trade. And if that can happen, you know, entry up to there. Now it's taken a bit of time, but that'll be a nice 200% trade as well. So that's why you just got to be patient, guys. Patience is really, really important. And there's one more coin to look at. Strat will send a signal out for. And here, okay, it's the same thing. It's following. And the great thing I love about coins that have previous Elliott waves is they tend to make more Elliott waves, and they tend to follow that. So we did our 5 waves here, and then we had our A, our B. Right. So we had the A, B, and C. Now, I know a lot of people that got stuck buying Strat on this way down, thinking this was the run up. And this is the run here, guys, that will really get a lot of people in trouble. This one just here. This complacency run will get the impatient people in trouble all the time. It's okay to make some money on this wave, but you've got to understand that you could probably going to get this C down, which is exactly what happened. So on Strat, we held our 61.8 retracement, and we started making some small waves again. We had an impulse wave up. This impulse did hold itself at a 88%, I believe. Yep, from down here. All right. So we held a retracement here, so we're 1. So now I'm looking at an Elliott wave formation for this, and we placed our buys in here. I think the signal was for anything under 900 in there. And now we've moved away from the target, so you can place a stop loss. And our next target is going to be in here. Okay. Okay, so we're looking for about 106, 107, and then we're looking for a final target in here, up around at 120 mark. Okay, so as always, make sure that you place stop loss. All right. For those of you who want to join our chat group, we've got a great chat group called Cryptogasmic. I'll drop it in the link below the video. You can join us on YouTube, find us on Twitter, Cryptogasmic. We're all about educating people on cryptocurrency, financial freedom, how to live a free life, and I believe we're going to get that in cryptocurrency. So that's it for today, guys. Keep an eye on your money. Don't just assume everything's going to the moon. Be smart. Don't chase. Be patient, and everything will be good. All right, guys. I'll see you in the room. Bye-bye.